Hi, I'm Chris. I like to paint things, and I know you've all been telling me to clean my desk, so today we're going to clean the desk, because I have something really cool to show you. This is the Kill Team Beginner set. I got mine from Barnes & Noble, but they exist at like Target, a couple stores in the US, and I think Germany. They're like a weird exclusive thing that lucky us in the States get, probably because we don't have any Warhammer stores. At least I have no Warhammer stores. I don't know about you. This is a really realistically priced set that I think is a great way to get you into Kill Team or into like miniatures games in general. I personally, I'm going to lead with it. I don't play a lot of Kill Team, but I still wanted this box because it's a cool box and I like everything inside. So in this book, we have the handbook that contains the rules and a couple of one-page rules that give you like the rundown for all of your, or for both of your kill teams. We also have a very interesting box with a hazard stripe pattern on it. I actually don't know what this is. This is a nice battlefield, but it's a two-sided, like hard game board style battle mat as opposed to like a thin paper one. In this sleeve, we have something that's very unique to this set. We have Games Workshop brand MDF terrain. Can you believe that? Weird, I know. But you're not here for that. What you're here for are these wonderful sprues and the awesome miniatures that come in this box. So today, we're gonna have a look at a couple of those, and I'm gonna paint a couple of them. We have a pretty sweet selection of Space Marines, like Primaris Space Marines. I believe they're one or two short of like an actual kill team, and then the best miniatures Games Workshop has ever made, at least up there, the Blind Buy Plague Marine kill team. They were a Blind Buy, now they're like the standard kill team operatives, but for the price of this to get these models would make a lot of people who went to other countries or spent a lot of money to get them very mad. Again, we have some one-page rules, wink wink, a couple of sheets with the rules for your kill teams to make it really easy, and then we have a bunch of everybody's favorite cardboard tokens. Again, I'm going to preface with this, I don't play kill team. I might try and play kill team. It's just not my kind of rule set, but maybe this will change my mind. But I'm definitely going to use these tokens, and I'm really interested in this like pre-printed MDF stuff. It's very solid. Honestly, like really high quality. The print is very like good. I mean, it looks like Warhammer. Probably, at some point take a Sharpie to the edges, but that's beside the point. So again, these used to be Warhammer Heroes models. That's why they're all on their own sprue. They are push fit. Games Workshop push fit is probably not the most beginner friendly push fit. See, Gunpla miniatures for that. But what are you gonna do? You don't need any glue technically. I do really like the look of this terrain. Here it is next to a different Space Marine that I painted up earlier. So for those of you who have never built a Space Marine before, welcome. Everyone should build a Space Marine at least once in their life. Honestly, it's good fun. They come unassembled, so you're gonna need some nippers or pliers. I don't know what the word is for them. A nice sharp X-Acto blade. And then I'm gonna glue my parts together. These are push fit, so it's not necessary, but honestly, I'd recommend it, especially if you're experienced and you know how to do this sort of thing. Just, you know what you're doing. These are very nice flush knit nippers that I bought offline. They're like knockoff God Hands nippers, and they are so much better of an upgrade. Everyone who yelled at me about my Dreadnought, you were all correct. So these, again, they're push fit. They should pretty much just snap together like that. I put a couple of pieces of glue that Tamiya super glue, melts the plastic together, and you're left with a leg. Now with our Marines built, I had to move on to the Death Guard. They're a little spikier and definitely a little grosser. Honestly, way easier to paint though, especially if you're a beginner, trust me. My first army project when I realized I wasn't like a total noob at painting was my Skaven Death Guard, which was also the first video that really helped me get monetized. So thanks guys, I appreciate all of you. These all come with fun little nurglings, and I'm not going to replace them with rats just because these are like special sculpts. You know, if they were whatever sculpts, I'd probably tear them apart and kit bash them, but these are special, unique snowflake sculpts. So now that we have our miniatures assembled, you're pretty much good to go. Honestly, like, I'm going to do a couple other 2-player starter set boxes, hopefully by the end of the year. This one is the bare minimum you need. It's got some walls, it's got some models. It took, I don't know, an hour and a half for me to put them all together. That's not the best time, but as far as Warhammer starter sets go, that's the fastest you're ever going to get to like getting models on the table. So here are 3 like standard intercessors. One I think is an assault intercessor. I don't know Space Marines, man. This one's got a big gun, and he's my favorite. He looks like Buzz Lightyear. He's cool. And this one's got a cape, so you know he's the most important. He's also got a big fist and a plasma gun. I left the Space Marines bald because their head sculpts were unique, and I thought I'd like to, you know, show them off. But honestly, beginners, leave all the heads on. Don't worry about it. The Death Guard mostly have their helmets on because Death Guard helmets are cool. These guys are pretty much your bog standard Plague Marines. Well, I think one's a champion, and one's got a flail. This is my actual favorite model that Games Workshop currently sells. He is the coolest Death Guard miniature, and I'll fight you for that. There are better old school ones, but he is the best. There are many like him, but he's mine. And this guy I'm going to run as the icon bearer in my actual Death Guard army. He's fun. I like how many like little creepy nurglings he has. And here's just some close-ups of the terrain. I think it looks pretty, you know, serviceable, I would say. I'd use it in a field if I had it. I have a bunch of other MDF terrain that it'll look pretty good next to, so. Now, if you want an in-depth tutorial about how to paint a Space Marine, this is probably not the place for you, but I'll give you a good overview of how I like to paint a Space Marine. I think the best way to paint a Space Marine is with dry brushing. Dry brushing sounds like a complicated technique, but I promise you, it gives you really, really good results fast. I take 3 colors, dark blue all the way up to white. You don't even need to go this crazy. And I just do progressive brushes over them. This is over what's called a zenithal prime, I should say, which is black spray paint over the model, and then a top-down spray. I use gray, some people use white. So then I take a makeup brush. This is actually a fancier dry brush. You put it in your paint, you take most of the paint off of it, except like, you know, enough to do a little coverage, and you do downward strokes on the model. Just downward strokes, keep all the black shadows, and turn all that gray into nice bright blue. Then what we're gonna do is slowly add in a lighter and lighter color. And you don't even need to do this if you don't want to be advanced. Just that much is like good enough if you're a beginner. But this is my favorite way to base coat anything. I just start mixing in a lighter blue color and then doing slightly lighter and lighter dry brushing. And what that's going to do is add some actual edges to our miniatures. I hope you can see that. My camera didn't come out the best on the red background. Maybe should have worked on that, but that's okay. So then we start mixing in white. It's not white, it's more like an ivory color, and we just start lightening up our blue so that it's literally just touching the edges with like a really light sky blue. Contrasts well from the black to the, you know, royal blue. If you're a beginner and you really want to learn how to paint a Space Marine, Midwinter Minis, Sonic Sledgehammer, those are the 2 channels I'd send you to, but I hope you can see what I was trying to go for here. Then we're going to add some depth, so I added some Coelia green shade, but you could just use Nuln Oil or whatever shade you want. This is more of like a turquoise shade. I love this color. I'm going to be so sad when it runs out because it's an old Citadel wash instead of their current wash formula. And when that's done, look at the depth in that armor. You get the edges from the dry brush, you get the contrast from the washes, and then you get like a variation of armor tones from the dry brushing. But a base coat and then a wash is also pretty solid too. And again, you could just like field these if you slap a base on them, just call it done. But you know, this is a miniature painting channel, so I have to paint some We're We're going to go Crimson Fists because I've never painted Crimson Fists and I only paint Sons of Dorn Space Marine chapters. So we're going to add some red, some black, and we're going to go crazy. Obviously, one red fist. I almost wish the Crimson Fists had a little more red, but one red fist, then a couple of details, a couple of skin colors and metallics. Nothing you've never seen before if you've ever watched someone paint some miniatures. Now, especially if you're a beginner, it's really tempting to skimp on the base, but the base is what makes your model look done. So I recommend taking some cheap craft paint and literally just doing a couple simple tricks to make your model finished. Nothing irks me more than seeing a really nicely painted model on Reddit or something, and they haven't done the base, or even they haven't done the base rim. That blows my mind, guys. I hate painting bases too, trust me. Just paint a brown, cheap, crappy paint, paint a couple of rocks, do a dry brush, a wash, base rim, 4 steps, really easy, and it makes the model look like finished. Also, just adds more contrast in because you're contrasting the brown with like the armor of the base or whatever colors you do. It makes everything look finished. And the bases in this Kill Team set are actually really nice because they're like pre-sculpted, so they have cool details like rocks and bullets. The Nurgle kits are way better. They have little Nurglings and little like ropes and skulls. Just paint your bases, come on. I know you can do it. Paint those bases. Now a fun little like slightly advanced technique, if you've got dry brushing one color down, what I like to do is add a dusty dry brush over like the bottom third of the model, so you get really thin down a dusty brown paint and just kind of stab at the base of the model, adding dust to the ground. If you follow more advanced painters, better painters than me, they usually use like pigment powders for this. I don't feel like being that fancy. I just like doing a dry brush upwards with dust. It adds like an extra fun, like dusty layer that looks good even if it's a bit chalky because it's dirt. It blends them into the base, makes them look weathered, makes them look honestly badass, and adds more contrast, a couple of incidental edge highlights. Just do it, trust me. And then you paint the base rims the color of your choice. I chose black on these. Probably should have gone brown because all my Death Guard have brown bases and I wanted the set to match, but oh well. Now compare that to before we just did the base. That guy looks done. He looks badass. He looks like Cody Rhodes from the WWE, gosh dang it. And who doesn't like Cody Rhodes? After painting the Death Guard, I was then left with this. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. My name's Chris. I like to paint things. If you wanted a Death Guard painting tutorial video, I do have that video. I'll link it somewhere, probably at some point. It's one of my personal favorite armies that I've ever done. Not to say that these Crimson Fists also don't look pretty cool. But you tell me what you think. If you live in the US, do you think this is worth it for the price point? Do you think it's a good way to get people into Kill Team or even into the hobby as a whole? I don't know. What are your thoughts? I have 2 more like small starter set boxes on the way for different game systems, so stay tuned for those. I plan on doing videos about those. I'm very excited to just like check out ways to get people into the miniatures hobby, and I like having boxes. Don't you like having nice cool boxes with art made by people on them? Who doesn't love that? Even if some of those companies don't credit the people that drew them. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm on a tangent now. I've been Chris. I like to paint things, play some Kill Team, and play some miniatures games. Get your friends to do it. Trick them if you have to. I don't care. Have a good one.